You've probably seen the shocking headlines about the world's heaviest people, right? But what's the real story behind those huge numbers? Well, this isn't just about weight. We're going to dive into what it's like to live a life pushed to the absolute extreme and explore the incredible human stories that come with it. So you have to ask yourself, how does this even happen? How does someone become one of the heaviest people on the planet? It's a simple question, but the answer? It's incredibly complex. It's almost never about just one choice. Usually, it's a whole cascade of things, physical, psychological, emotional, that completely changes the course of a person's life. Okay, let this number sink in for a second. 600 kilograms. That's more than 1,300 pounds. This was the real Guinness World Records certified peak weight of a man named Juan Pedro Franco. Just try to imagine that. And right behind him was Manuel Uribe, who topped out at 597 kilograms. His situation actually made him a bit of a TV personality in Mexico, but the reality was he was completely trapped in his own home. But see, these aren't just statistics, are they? They represent real people, and each one has a totally unique and complicated journey. So let's go beyond the numbers and really try to understand the human experience hiding underneath it all.
So where does a journey like this even begin? Well, a lot of the time, it doesn't start with a physical problem at all. It actually starts with an emotional one. A moment of deep personal crisis that becomes the trigger for this massive transformation.
For a man from London named Keith Martin, this was his reality. He lost his mother when he was only 16 years old, and that loss sent him into a spiral of grief he just didn't know how to handle. Food became the only way he knew how to cope.
And you can see how it just builds one step after another. That one tragic event led to severe depression. To deal with it, he started binge eating. And that escalated until he was consuming an unbelievable 20,000 calories a day. To put that in perspective, that's like eating over 200 flatbreads every single day. Now, that kind of weight gain inevitably leads to something we can only call the immobility trap. It's this horrible, vicious cycle. The more weight you gain, the less you can move. And, of course, the less you move, the more weight you gain. You literally become a prisoner inside your own body.
Just think about that. For 2 entire decades, the world outside your bedroom basically disappears. Kenneth Bromley's story shows just how deeply isolating this can be. Doctors, family, everyone and everything had to come to him because he simply could not leave. And this really shows the stark contrast, doesn't it? All the simple things we just take for granted. Popping out of the house, hanging out with friends, just doing simple chores. All of that is gone. It's replaced by total confinement and being completely dependent on other people for absolutely everything.
And the physical reality of it all can get so extreme that, well, normal rules just don't apply anymore. Take Patrick Duell. He spent his life in bed and weighed 486 kilograms. When he had a medical emergency, they couldn't just call an ambulance. They had to call a construction crew to literally tear down the wall of his bedroom just to get him out. Being trapped physically is just one piece of the puzzle. Internally, on the inside, the body is under a relentless attack. The medical cost of this kind of extreme weight is just staggering. The list of complications is terrifying, and it's pretty much the same for everyone in these situations. The body is just pushed so far beyond its limits that you start to see a total systematic collapse of its most important functions. We're talking diabetes, heart failure, organ damage. It's a war on all fronts inside the body.
And if you want to understand that internal damage, just look at this number, 70. That's how many kidney stones doctors had to remove from Keith Martin in a single operation. It's a shocking sign of just how ravaged his internal organs had become. So when you're faced with these life-or-death conditions, a lot of people begin this desperate fight for their lives. But trying to reverse this kind of weight gain is an enormous and often tragic battle. The damage that's been done over years, you just can't undo it easily. Manuel Uribe's journey is such a powerful example of this. After years of being stuck in bed, he had surgery and managed to lose an incredible 180 kilograms. You'd think that's a huge success, right? But the long-term strain on his heart and liver was just too much. The damage was done, it was irreversible, and he passed away in 2014. But not every story ends that way. There are some really powerful stories of hope that show us a different path is possible, especially when one crucial thing comes into play: getting help early on. So let me introduce you to Arya Permana from Indonesia. As a kid, his diet was basically just junk food and noodles, and his weight just exploded. By the time he was only 12 years old, he weighed 190 kilos. That's almost 420 pounds, making him the world's most overweight child. He couldn't even go to school. His health was in serious, serious danger.
But then, with the incredible support of his family, Arya decided to fight back. He had surgery, followed a strict diet, started exercising, and the result? It was an absolutely stunning transformation. I mean, look at this. He went from 190 kilograms all the way down to 83. He's now active, he's healthy, and he totally has his life back.
Arya's story is such a powerful reminder that even from the most extreme places, recovery is actually possible. It just shines a huge spotlight on the power of getting medical help combined with having that unwavering support from your community. And it leaves us with a really important question, right? If this is what's possible with timely help, how can we get better at spotting those early triggers, the grief, the isolation, and offer support before it's too late?